guys, it's your girl Angelica on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. We do provide mentorship services as well as artistic services for artists. Today we're going live with an actor, a producer, a writer, Jimmy Drain. He's going to share his testimony. He's going to share his experience within the industry, hoping that his expertise will inspire you and help you along your journey. I'm going to go ahead and pin our Instagram handles below, Angelica_Marianne. That's my Instagram handle. I'm hosting this as well as Jimmy Drain, JIMMYDRAIN. And then on behalf of F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment, we do provide these services for free. We're hoping that we can inspire the entertainment community. So let's go ahead and get him on here. Let's send him an invite to come and join us. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to get him to come over here, and then we're going to get started. Thanks so much, guys, for joining in. If you do miss this on if you missed this live currently, you can go ahead and watch it on all of our platforms. We'll go ahead and stream this there. Okay. Perfect. Hello. Okay, we got him right here. So we're just going to go ahead and send him. We're going to add him to this live. Perfect. We got you. And again, today we're interviewing Jimmy Drain, an amazing actor, producer, and writer. So let's jump right in. So let's get him here on this live. You know, you could be doing anything right now, but you came on here to inspire our platform. So we truly, truly appreciate you for doing that.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. I mean, duly noted, as they say. It's a nice opportunity for me, too, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. So the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment, F.A.T.E Global, what we do is we do provide these artistic services and mentorship services for artists. And we go live with casting directors, writers, producers like yourself, actors. And you guys just share your testimonies, you share your expertise with our platform, hoping that, whoever is watching will be inspired, that the younger version of you will tune into this and learn something and take some tools away from whatever you're able to give, the gems you're able to drop for the day. So I'm sure we're ready to just jump right into it. So I know a lot of people are probably wondering, they've seen you in different films and different things of that sort. And, people don't know about, the journey or the grind to the top. But can you kind of share how you got started in the entertainment industry?
Sure, yeah. I started out as an actor, and I'm still an actor.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of my main forte, and it's like kind of therapy for me. But I started out in Denver, but I moved to LA quickly after that. And my first acting coach was our friend, Steven Snyder, the Pitbull.
Yes, love Steven.
Wonderful guy. And he really took time with me and helped me hone the craft. But an interesting thing happened. I moved back to Denver soon after that because of relationship stuff. And I kind of got stuck here for a little bit. But in a weird way, that was all part of God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I really was able to hone my acting craft here and learn the process of filmmaking and producing.
Yeah.
So LA is not that far away from me, so it's my second home. My dad was born there, and it's kind of my go-to place to get away from the Colorado scene. But that's how it started. Started out as an actor, and really learned producing, screenwriting, and all the other stuff by being an actor first. I was observing, I was just soaking up like a sponge. I was able to observe the production element and by being an actor.
I love that. That's awesome. So you dabble between acting, producing, because can you kind of speak to what inspired you starting your company, Thunder Night Entertainment?
Yeah. Thunder Night Entertainment is a production company that I created about 5 years ago, and the idea is to produce films with a higher level content, and of course spread a good message, a positive message.
Yeah.
It's kind of nowadays we don't quite know what films are sending what kind of message, so
right.
I can't really do anything unless it's trying to spread something positive.
I love
and,
that.
One of my favorite actors said that there's got to be more to this than munching on popcorn, And that was the whole purpose for Thunder Night, was to get out there and start to deal with mainstream films, and in a very interesting time, to hopefully inspire and spread something positive out there and good.
I love that. That's awesome. I love that.
Thank
I
you.
love that. So are you guys currently working on any projects under Thunder Night? I know it's COVID and things of that sort. The industry has kind of come to a halt, but now things are picking back up.
They are, yeah. Actually, the whole pandemic, in a weird way, and I hate to say it like this, has really helped Thunder Night out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
As an independent filmmaker,
Mm-hmm.
we're working on a couple of movies. One is called The Initiation. We're about to finish that. It's got a really great cast, and for an indie film, it looks like it's a Hollywood film. It's got some Hollywood A-listers like Vernon Wells. He was in The Road Warrior. Richard Tyson from Kindergarten Cop. Naomi Grossman from American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
And that segues into a larger film called The Dead Rose, and that's going to be with some of the same actors, but with Tony Todd, the Candyman, who was wonderful.
Love that. Wow.
And veteran actor. He's really actually in my opinion, the only African American horror legend there is.
I love that.
So he's going to be in it. He plays a really good role, and he's the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the movie. He holds it all together. So that'll be great to work with him again.
That's super cool. Amazing working with the legends. So can you kind of speak to what has been possibly your favorite role or your favorite project that you worked on as an actor?
Sure. As an actor, which is different than acting and producing in your own film, but strictly as an actor, I did a short film called Suicide for Two, which was my favorite film to do as an actor because all I had to do was show up and act. Everything that I'm doing now, I show up and I act in it, but I also have to produce it and write it and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So acting is just wonderful. It's fun. You show up and you're kind of being like a teammate. You're not running the whole show.
Right.
But yeah, I would say I did a short film called Suicide for Two. I did another short film called Dream Lady, which is going to be part of an anthology horror series that's coming out soon called The Realm of Shadows, and Tony's in that as well. And
Okay.
so yeah, when these are done and we get them done here very soon, I'll get you a link to these little short films.
Yeah.
However, The Initiation will be my first leading role in a feature film.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to act. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's just one of those things where you just show up. But to act
Mm-hmm.
and produce in your own film is quite the challenge for sure.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Just wearing so many different hats. And how do you balance that when you're in the midst of everything?
I have a good support group and I have friends and I try to keep a spiritual foundation
Mm-hmm.
in today's world. Anyway, whether you're making movies or not, you kind of have to do that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's my main thing. I try to keep a good equilibrium with a spiritual foundation, and I pray and I hope that God blesses our production company and
Mm-hmm.
our adventures.
I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So along this journey, you've been after this for quite a bit and you've been, rolling with the punches and you've had success. But can you kind of speak to someone that's, possibly on the verge of giving up? They keep getting these different no's and they keep getting a lot of rejection. What is something that you would possibly say to them, some advice that you can leave with them?
Hmm. I would say that you can never give up at anything, really. If you're passionate about something, if you get knocked down 7 times, get up 8 times, kind of
I
thing.
love that. I love that
And
one.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, no one's going to just show up on Hollywood, and it has happened from time to time, but you're not going to show, especially nowadays, you're not going to show up and automatically be a star. So you
Right.
have to be very, what they call stubborn about your passion.
I love that one.
And that's all you have to do. I would think if your passion is behind it, everything else will fall into place. And then God's timing will help out everything. A lot of my friends are wondering why we wait to release a certain film at this amount of time and whatever. And I tell them it's like, when it's done, it's done. And I think that'll play into God's timing. So
Mm-hmm.
timing is huge. And we have to look at that as a given. But I would say at the end of the day, if you're really passionate and obsessive about it in a weird way, which is not a bad thing, then good things will happen.
I love that you said we have to look at you know, the patience that you're gathering as a gift, because that's kind of the phase of life that I'm in, just seeing everything as a gift, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, depending on whatever my perception is of a thing at
Sure.
that moment. But, you know, just really seeing everything as a gift. So that really resonated with me. And it's almost when we start seeing everything as a gift, we begin to appreciate everything around us and every experience. So thanks for saying that.
Oh
I
no, of
appreciate.
course. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's super cool. So, can you kind of talk about some of your different adversities that you face, whether it be as an actor or whether it be when you are in the production period, and like you said, you're waiting to release a film. Can you kind of speak to some of those different things and how you overcome them?
Yeah. As producer, you face different challenges, which is you're always trying to compete with yourself, of course, but also with everybody else's films and what have you. And then we were about to finish your film, the initiation, and then the pandemic hit. So we had to kind of put it on hold. And what we faced, I would say, initially is that people who didn't quite understand the process were like, when is this movie going to get made? When is it going to get finished? And it's like, well, we're dealing with a few things right here. And so you have to deal with people who don't quite know the process, especially when you're bringing in name actors in your film. They don't understand that aspect to it. Therefore, to them, it's all just kind of like, when is this going to happen? And in today's society, with like instant gratification and instant media, people get a little
Yeah.
bit bored and weird. But I kind of like building. I have a really great press team out in LA, and they do all of our press for us, and they're great people. But if
Nice.
I like to keep people anticipated for a movie or any kind of project I'm doing, instead of just like boom, 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 knocking them out, where they'll get bored pretty quick.
Right.
And the worst thing you can do as a storyteller is to bore people, I would say.
That's so true. That's
I
so
try
true.
not to bore people, but those are the things. You know, I'm really lucky. I've had a really good foundation, and great team, good family. It's hard for me to think about anything, really.
Yeah.
So
Super cool. That's awesome. Super dope. So, what do you enjoy most about being an actor, being a storyteller?
Being an actor in your own film is kind of weird, because you are trying to express yourself through two different lenses. For me, the joy of acting is you can only concentrate on one thing at a time. It's very therapeutic for me to be an actor, but I've been in a situation where I've had to produce and direct, and then next thing you know, you're acting in the scene, and so you have to turn that mindset off really quick and go from one to another, which is actually a lot of fun, but it does take just time and practice to kind of do that. But I love them both. My acting for me is most fun, because you're just enjoying the moment and you're in the character. Producing is a lot of work, but I think producing at the end of the day is more fulfilling in the long scope of things.
I love that. That's super cool. So for those that are watching that are interested in possibly becoming a producer, do you have any advice that you can give to them? Any things that they should be doing to advance themselves in that direction?
Sure. I would think that you'd have to have a message to your whole purpose to being a producer, number one, and have a purpose to your stories that you want, the movies that you want to produce, or any kind of content that you want to produce. They have to have some sort of a purpose. A lot of films that come out, and Hollywood's been doing this for years, they just release things for money or for entertainment, and that's fine. To entertain, you also have to educate and also kind of help spiritually enlighten. And if you can do all those three things in a production, gives you kind of more of a purpose, as opposed to just like making, Revenge of the Zombies, Sharknado Part 7. It gives you more of a purpose behind your projects. So I would say, as a producer, the biggest thing is to have a motive and a purpose behind your vision, and then the world is your oyster.
I love that. I love that. To have a motive and a purpose behind your vision, and if you have that, the world is your oyster. I absolutely love that. Super cool. You can actually jot that down and make some money off of it.
Let it flow.
For real. So can you kind of speak to, if you could possibly have your dream role, what does that look like as an actor, or, you know, dream production? You can choose whichever one you want to talk
Oh,
about.
okay. Dream role. You know, I've never thought of I've never had anything come my way as an actor to have like a dream role.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dream production for me is the next project we're working on with Steven Snyder called The Dead Rose. That's our dream goal, and it's actually happening.
Nice.
We signed Tony, like I told you. The story is so powerful and you know, pertinent to today's times with what's going on in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
it exposes a lot of things, but it also has such a redeeming kind of quality. It's a real kind of hero movie. That will be the dream production as of until we finish it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, uh, probably have another dream production coming on board. But no, that you
Yeah.
know, my idea of a dream production would be something that a producer could do that takes an audience on a journey. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they start out in a movie and they don't quite know what's going to happen, but by the end of the movie, they're totally taken on an adventure and a journey. So
Yes. I love that. I love that. Taking the audience on an adventure. So if you could go back in time, not in a place of regret or anything of that sort, but if you can give your younger self any advice, what would that be? Because I'm sure a younger version of you will watch this. So do you have anything that you would say to him?
yeah, I would say that, and this might sound unconventional, but is to really have before you get into this industry, no matter what, is to have a very strong spiritual foundation. Um,
Mm,
and I would say, you know, specifically, try your best to find out what's best for you, of course, but also what's best for finding your connection with God.
mm,
Otherwise, you're what they call a sitting duck in this
mm,
industry. Uh,
mm-hmm,
you're open to a lot of influences, and you know, some of those influences are going to look very attractive on the cuff, but they're actually out to get you. So my
mm-hmm.
advice would be is first find that, and then you can kind of concentrate on the artistic side of things with your passion and your art, and then everything else will kind of fall into place.
Yes. I love that.
Without that foundation, you know, you're in trouble, and that's maybe an unpopular thing to say, but I've lived in Hollywood, and you know, I go there a lot, and all my friends are there. That's why a lot of people are trying to find out a spiritual side to themselves. So there's so many things that are popular to try and
Mm-hmm,
connect oneself to something higher than themselves, and
mm-hmm,
not all of them are really right and good, but you know, at least they're trying. So,
mm-hmm.
and then after that, the last thing I was going to say is just artistically really hone your craft and practice at it and just never give up. But
Yeah.
having a spiritual foundation is probably the number one thing.
I love that. I love that. And coming back to your spiritual foundation, what are some things that you do? Because there's so many different things going on in the world. And on top of that, we are getting auditions still, and you are still developing projects. So what are some things that you do to stay balanced? Like, do you meditate? Do you go ride your bike? Do you go for walks, prayer? What are some things that you do to stay spiritually aligned or balanced?
Oh, okay. You know, I try to go to church every Sunday and I pray the rosary, which is a Catholic thing, because I'm Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And the rosary is pretty remarkable in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Miracles that have happened with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just try to not drive myself crazy with my own head and, you know, in the world as it is already. And then
Yeah.
just try to be rational and sane about things. And, you know, I read a really interesting book called Sanity is in Theology. Theology and Sanity is what it's called. So it deals with some pretty big issues. So if
Mm.
people could just keep sane in this industry and also have some sort of spiritual life and a foundation, I think that's great, and
Mm-hmm.
more power to them. And I think people are now striving to be a part of something spiritual, something higher than themselves.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that you bring things back to your spirituality, and really just bring up the fact that we must stay grounded and we must know exactly who we are and be true to ourselves, especially in this industry where, again, we are of major influence, and then those around us, you know, are of major influence on us as well. So thanks for bringing
Exactly.
that up. Can you kind of speak a little bit about, because the industry is changing now after post-COVID, can you kind of
Yeah.
speak to your thoughts about that? You know, a lot of the different self-tapes are happening now. It's not a lot of in-person connections. Can you kind of speak to your thoughts about the new wave of the industry?
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm liking it a lot in a weird way because it's helped me
Mm-hmm.
out as an independent filmmaker. But that's how things evolve, I guess. Especially in this industry, we have to go with the punches, as you say. Um, I like the fact that people can now connect really quickly, like what we're doing here on this interview,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a nice thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope it'll go back to the way it was as well, meaning with theaters
Right.
being kind of a thing where people will go to see a movie. It'll be like
Yes.
an event. Like me personally, I want to see Top Gun 2 in the theaters. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to stream it. Um, that kind of thing. I hope people will go back to that kind of mindset, and that depends on a lot of things. However, if it doesn't, we still have to adapt and be able to be as successful as we possibly can in a weird world.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, I'm hoping it goes back to the way as it was, with where people actually go out on a date and go to the theater and what have you. But if it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen, I'm fully prepared, and we kind of have to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree on that one. So, within this industry, relationships are so important. Like how we're able to connect on there, on here, on this interview. Things are a little bit more easier with accessing people through social media.
Yeah,
But can you kind of speak to why relationships are so important within the entertainment industry, and how can people go about developing genuine relationships with casting directors, writers, directors, other actors, things of that sort?
sure. That's where I guess the spiritual foundation comes in, and if you're spiritually aligned and you're doing the best to be the best person you can, other people will pick up on that, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll want to be a part of your journey and want to be a part of your life,
Mm-hmm.
no matter if it's the entertainment world or if it's personal relationships or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's always been my main thing, and then and things kind of fall into place after that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there'll be tough patches, but if you're like I said, if you're passionate about it and you're stubborn, only good things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those guys too that I don't like to just meet a person in this industry and not actually see if they're really being a normal person. I try
Yeah.
to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
So being genuine is also very important, and
Mm-hmm.
to have a uh, affection or care for another person is in this industry anyway
Yes.
is but not everyone's going to think the same way, so you have to be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. I love that. So as a young boy, did you always know, like, okay, when I grew up, I want to be an actor, or did you have your heart set on another career path? Did you dabble in other things along the way before you decided to become an actor, or did you just know from the very start, I want to be an actor?
I was a basketball player in high school, and I was getting really good
Oh,
scholarship offers and what have you. So no, for me, acting wasn't really my first thing. I've always loved movies and what have you.
mm-hmm.
But what inspired me to be a basketball player was a movie called Teen Wolf. So it was a movie that inspired me to be a good basketball player, and
Wow.
therefore, in a way, I was inspired to become a filmmaker because of a movie. So it's weird. Kids are
It comes full circle.
yeah, we're inspired by movies, whether we like it or not. Especially when you're watching them a lot as a kid. And my folks were always watching movies. So no, I didn't really plan on it, and it kind of fell into my lap. And I was really afraid to be an actor because I'm pretty shy typically. And then it was Steven who really helped me kind of break that mold and learn how to turn it on and off. And then it just went from there. I started out as an actor, like I told you, and then everything kind of fell into place with producing. But no plan whatsoever. I really wanted to be a basketball player. That was my goal as a kid.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. That's awesome. So when you come to a place, like sometimes if you're having like a rough day or a rough patch, or you leave an audition and you might not have done your best or whatever the case might be, what motivates you, to keep going? you talked about your spirituality and that's what keeps you balanced and aligned. But
Yeah.
what is that aha that makes you say, you know what, I'm going to keep going?
What helped me out as an actor when you go on a bunch of auditions and you only get called back maybe one time out of
Mm-hmm.
20 auditions
Right.
was having the knowledge, knowing that 99% of it is out of your hands, and just do your best. And when you finish an audition as an actor, and just forget about it, kind of thing. And that's what I learned. And I did it for about 7 or 8 years, and I was good at it. And I forgot about every audition I went on. And the ones you forget about sometimes will call you back, and they want you for the role, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up becoming a producer mainly because I didn't want to deal with that anymore. And so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to control the whole thing, the whole story. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not a bad thing. As an artist, you can control
Right.
your production. And so that's why I got addicted to producing, because you have full control, as opposed to an actor who has, unfortunately, very limited power. Uh, that's all. That's what inspired me to be a producer.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah. So if you could leave, an artist with 3 tips, if it was 3 things that you can tell them that they can do to advance their artistic careers. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be things they could be doing right now during COVID, but in general, if they want to be an actor or, they're an artist and there's things that they want to do to get to a certain space, what is 3 things that you'd say that they should be doing to get better?
And I would say actually during COVID might be a perfect time for these 3 things for them to do, or a person to do. For me anyway, as an actor, I looked up to a few other actors that are really well known, and they're kind of inspirations for me. So I would say pick an actor or actress that you really like a lot and you connect with, and not imitate them, but kind of emulate their abilities. And
Mm-hmm.
that'll really help give you a vision. And then, but also finding your own voice in the whole thing too in the process. And that's going to take time, because you're going to go on auditions, and you can't perfectly mimic somebody, and nor is that the goal. But to
Right.
try and emulate someone that you really like.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I would say is kind of have a passion for the story or the production at the end of the day, which is meaning trying to help people as opposed to just fluff the entertainment thing, which is a popular thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the last thing too is if you gel those two together, you're going to have a tremendous, I guess, fire behind what you're doing, and then things will fall into place. It's really difficult for me to kind of like reflect and be like, oh, I should have done this or that, and there was times, but at the end of the day, like I said, if you're passionate about what you're doing and you have a very positive, good motive behind you, there's
Mm-hmm.
really nothing that can stop you, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Things will fall into place when you're doing the work. That's amazing. Again, guys, this is Jimmy Drain. He's an amazing actor, producer, writer. We have him here. He just shared so many different gems, so much of his knowledge, his expertise from his journey. Again, I put his Instagram handle below. Make sure you guys follow him, connect with him, continue the journey with him, reach out. You can stay connected and learn about some of the different projects and the different films that he'll be putting out as well through his production company. Guys, again, F.A.T.E Global is listed below as well. If you missed this live, you can also watch this on a replay. We get thousands of people that watch this on our replay on all of our platforms. So you can watch it there on our podcast channel as well. Guys, we just want to say thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming on here. We know you could have been doing anything right now. You could have been writing a
No,
script. You could have been praying. You could have been cooling, chilling, watching a movie. But you took your time to come on here and just share your knowledge and your expertise with our platform. So we just want to say we truly, truly appreciate you, King, for doing that.
I was in the middle of a prayer and you guys Instagrammed me. What's going on here? No, I'm joking. No, that was awesome. I appreciate that. No, thank you. It was an honor to be a part of it, and you're wonderful. And I'd love to do
Thank
this
you.
again in the future.
Yes, absolutely. So again, F.A.T.E Global, the Foundation for Artistic Talent and Empowerment. We're trying to connect all artists and entertainers all over the world. We want to share, the different expertise. We're basically trying to become everything we never had. Sometimes in this industry, sometimes things can be a little bit closed-lipped, and you have to go and do your research and apply yourself and find whatever knowledge or gems that you can get. And yes, we'll continue to do that. But if we can give back and we can make your journey easier, that's what we're here to do. So again, we just want to say thank you so much that we were able able to bring you on here. You shared so much knowledge. You talked about how you got into the entertainment industry. You talked about, you know, adversity, staying spiritually aligned, you know, staying the course and just not giving up. And you really inspired me, and I'm sure you inspired this generation. I'm sure you spoke to a younger version of yourself today. So again, we just want to say thank you. And we'll be sure to go ahead and cut this and send you the final cut over once we edit everything here.
That's great. Thank you so much.
All righty then. So we'll let you go. And guys, again, if you want to connect with Jimmy Drain, make sure you follow him here on Instagram. His handle is below here. We pinned it. And make sure you continue to connect with him and show him some love.
Thank you so much, guys. It was an honor.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.